and welcome to the Academy for Technology and Academics 2020 Senior Ceremony. We are here to celebrate the achievements that our students have been working towards over the past few years, but before we do that, I would like to take a moment to recognize the individuals that have helped make this opportunity and day of celebration possible. Dr. Rick Maxey, Superintendent of Horry County Schools. His chief officers, Mrs. Boone Myrick, Mrs. Velna Allen, Mr. Darrell Brown, Ms. Mary Anderson, and Mr. Kenneth Generette. I also would like to recognize the Horry County School Board, which is led by the school board chair, Mr. Ken Richardson. I'd also like to thank Mrs. April Scott, the Executive Director for High Schools, Mr. Ben Hardy, Director of Career and Technology Education for Horry County Schools, the faculty and staff here at the Academy for Technology and Academics, and the parents of the seniors of the class of 2020. To all of you, we are most appreciative and thankful for your support. 2 years ago, most of these students were sitting in their base high school auditorium listening to a presentation being given by myself and my colleagues about opportunities that were in front of them. An opportunity to participate in one of the two-year programs that Horry County Schools offers for rising juniors, or they were in a middle school conference room listening to a presentation by me and some of my staff about an opportunity to graduate high school in 3 years. The students that were being presented these career pathway options went through the application process and went through required interview. For many of these students, that was their first interview experience. They spoke with a teacher about who they were and why they were interested in pursuing a career major at our school. After the interview was over, they waited anxiously for the arrival of a letter that would confirm or deny their acceptance into the program. For our Connect students, they received that letter for some reason, seemed maybe possibly too good to be true, about the opportunity to complete high school in 3 years and the option of participating in one of our career majors. They too awaited confirmation about being accepted into the program. And for these students that we're about to celebrate, the letter said yes, and the students accepted. That bold move to take a chance at something new and to begin a journey that would lead us to this day, a pathway of new experiences, new relationships, and a new motto. For students that we're about to celebrate, they have heard the phrase, "Job ready day one," many times. I'm sure it probably sounded important that first time. I mean, who doesn't want to be ready for that next step in life? But little did they realize how many times they would hear that phrase over the next few years. The teachers and staff in the school would use it almost daily to relate to the experience that they were talking about in their classroom. Even guest speakers and our business partners would come in and use that phrase in so many words as well. Eventually, students themselves started being able to articulate why they were doing what they were doing and why they were here at ATA. They too began to see the importance of being ready for that next chapter in their life. They began to see the importance of a career pathway in which they were actively pursuing and how it affects their neighbors and community members. They were witnessing the impact of soft skills and relationships with others, how patient care and attention to small details, small numbers and calculations, and how a job well done affects those around them. Pretty soon, those students were able to share that with their parents and friends and even guests that attended our school. Pretty soon, students would be able to share additional phrases and the meaning behind it, such as, "You're a culmination of the top 5 people you surround yourself with," or "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future," They heard these phrases many times, but what's important is now they understand the meaning of why it's important. Just like they understand knowing your why helps you know what it is you're doing. And this is a reference to a skit by comedian Michael Jr. that I'm sure you can find on YouTube, where he takes kind of an off-the-cuff moment to talk to a staff member, a person in the audience. Ask that person, what do they do? And the person was a musical instructor at an institution. And he said, okay, well, give me a little bit of what you got. He asked the person to sing a little bit of Amazing Grace. And he sang it, very nice baritone voice. And then he said, well, tell you what, I want you to sing it again, and this time I want you to sing it. And he gave some life examples as to why he would be singing this song. And, of course, that changed things. When he sang the song, it was extremely powerful. It was extremely moving, extremely passionate, into which he received a standing ovation. When you know your why, you can walk more passionately in your purpose. Students that participated in their student internships or in-house work-based learning opportunities were able to experience this walking with their passion. Our students and staff are most thankful to our business partners for allowing our students to come and be a part of their day-to-day life and these career paths. It is, in my opinion, the final phase of being job ready day one. And we are at a day of celebration to recognize our students for being job ready day one. At this time, we're going to recognize our senior students for their completion of their program of study here at the Academy for Technology and Academics. And as we do that, we will see how these students have taken this experience to heart. At this time, I'm going to call forward each program instructor to the podium where we will call our students forward to be recognized. And for our automotive program, I would like to call forward Mr. Joseph Gorseski.
At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 senior automotive students. Noah Christopher Berg. John Roscoe Bullock. Christopher Bailey Causey. Trevor Dale Devereaux. Charlie Kendall Doyle. Barry Stephen Gillespie. Quan Kadri Grady. Ethan Reams Herring. Evan Lee Hux. Preston Lee Jackson. Jason Vess Johnson. Cody Michael Kaiser. Isaac Dominic Long. Trevor Graham Long. Jacqueline Luna Hernandez. Guy Harrison Myers. Talib Taekwon Parker. John Harmon Shipley. Andrew Douglas Smith. Troy Nathaniel Spivey. Austin David Wayne Suggs. Joey Jermaine Willard. That concludes our 2020 senior automotive students.
And at this time, I would like to call forth Mr. Bernie Davis to introduce our senior building construction students.
At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 senior building construction students. Emily Flores Balderas, Vince Darrell Godbolt, Jair Martinez, Bonifacio Rodriguez, Jairon Mateo Salinas, Gabriel Timmons Casino. That concludes our 2020 senior building construction students.
And at this time, I would like to call forth Mr. Gary Tripp to recognize our Senior Connect students.
At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 Senior Connect Program students. Robert Wyatt Baker. Jonathan Gabriel Bussa. Jessica Cowley Linares. Brendasia Jayla Chance. Stephen William Green. Tatiana Shanice Grissett. Federica Lakia Hemingway. Yolanda Shanice Holmes. Sarah Grace Lanier. Jacob Gabriel Leslie. Zachary Vernon Marchinkowski. Hannah Lynn Moskovic. Vanessa Eileen Pina. Brooklyn Jane Sylvester. Berkeley Keaton Williams. This concludes our 2020 Senior Connect Program students.
And at this time, I'd like to call forward our cosmetology instructors, Ms. Sabrina Huggins and Mrs. Christina Cox.
At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 senior cosmetology students. Madison Estelle Anderson.
Terry Mackenzie Atkinson.
Celeste Giselle Garros Lopez. Victoria Caitlin Brentson. Alexia Chantel Carter. Shelby Francis Ford. Austin Lee Forty. Yamilet Garces Ortiz. Ashton Nicole Giddings. Dalen Nicole Givings. Kenyatta Benyetta Marie Hannah. Lexton Nicole Hardwick. Emily Jocelyn Juarez Martinez.
Rosa Marlene Lagunes. Kelsey Brooke Lane. Janiyah Lachey Livingston. Nadine Geneva Miller. Madeline Hayes Niece. Kennedy Sloan Phipps. Chloe Alexis Prince. Dylan Michael Prince. Madeline Grace Rabin. Jessica Noel Redmond. Skylar Angelie Roseway. Joanna Santera Ramiro.
Deavion Desiree Scruggs.
Mariah Grace Stanley. Kylie Sarah Sweeney.
Alexis Lynn Torchy.
Caitlin Danielle Williams. That concludes our 2020 senior cosmetology students.
And at this time, we would like to call forward our culinary arts instructors, Mrs. Deidre Hughes and Mr. John Hunt.
At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 Senior Culinary Arts students. Ivy Marie Doherty. Nathan Jose Fernandez. Monica Elaine Garcia. Armani Jazir Quintez Great. Kyle Matthew Kaiser. Raquan Raheem Livingston. Jasmine Autumn Renee McDonald. Jeremy Isaiah Miller. Tynasia Zane Murphy.
Joshua Fisher Parker. Jasmine Danielle Shoemaker. Charles Semin Unger. Brandon Riney Urbana Blair. Caitlin Marie Vogel. Magabriella Naswani Wilson. Tijuan Anton Wilson. This concludes our 2020 Senior Culinary Arts students.
And at this time, we would like to call forward our engineering instructor, Mrs. Meredith Smith.
At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 senior engineering students. Justin Nicholas Bandel. Seth James Hamilton. William Saron Hemingway. Austin Blake Herring. Austin Brianna Hill. Josue David Marino Lopez. Nijami Shawan Riggins. Zachary Roberts. Jackson Blaine Wheeler. That concludes our 2020 senior engineering students.
And at this time, we would like to call forward our Emergency Fire and Management Service instructor, Captain Billy Strickland.
At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 Seniors Emergency and Fire Management students. Cody Bergman. Alexa Buskirk. Avery Eden. Nicholas Evers. Claudia Felder. Christian Harrington. Jacob Hyman. Chapel Johnson. Preston Johnson. Jameson Model. Elijah Montgomery. Kaylee Ross. Benjamin Shirley. Jacob Williamson. That concludes our 2020 Senior Emergency and Fire Management Services students.
And at this time, I would like to call forward our aesthetics instructor, Mrs. Amanda Brown.
At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 Senior Aesthetics students. Diamond Bryant, Mackenzie Howard, Raya Johnson, Deasia Mitchell, Christy Montino Rodriguez. That concludes our 2020 Senior Aesthetic students.
And at this time, I would like to call forward our nursing instructors, Mr. Chris Jenkins and Miss Heidi Hardy.
At this time, we'd like to recognize the 2020 senior nursing students. Bailey Carey Regina Ashley. Leandria Nair Bell. Victoria Danielle Bonacorso. Lakeland Grace Chestnut. Mackenzie Brooke Collins. Dominic Alfred Luigio Cornish. Aaliyah Jeray Franks. Jacqueline Gabriella Garza. Lyric Amaya Glover. Mandy Marie Hooks. Rachel Marie Mador. Macy Leanna Miles. Rihanna Scott Pringle. Jamira Michelle Vereen. Peyton Elaine Wyatt.
Sabrina Banta. Marquesha Bellamy. Logan Bergen. Lainey Campbell. Mitzi Chavez Medina. Zakia Clark. Marissa Cruz. Jayla DeWitt. Antanasia Grady. Audrey Hardwick. Keelani Jones. Logan Lombard. Hannah McGinnis. Gabriel Milton. Sean Prazo. Ileana Rivera. Erlene Singletary. Jackie Vargas. Tony Vereen. That concludes our 2020 senior nursing students.
And at this time, I would like to call forward our pre-law instructor, Miss Sarah Johnson.
And at this time, we would like to recognize our 2020 senior pre-law students. Riley Beam. Janae Bellamy. Davashay Bennett. Savoya Bennett. Peyton Blue. Joshua Elliott. Layla Harrington. Kylie Harris. Serenity Hayward. Brianna Livingston. Jalen Wardlaw. And that concludes our 2020 senior pre-law students.
And at this time, I would like to call forward our CMAA instructor, Ms. Melanie McCluskey.
At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 Senior Certified Medical Administrative Assistant students. Misa Baez. Tanisha Bellamy. Taylor Besant. Kimberly Cochran. Oriana Graves. Kiana Hemingway. Jaheim Johnson. Riley Roberts. Amani Sherman. Amber Watts. That concludes our 2020 senior CMAA students.
And at this time, I would like to call forward our digital art instructor, Ms. Marlo Frazier.
At this time, we would like to recognize the 2020 Senior Digital Art and Design students. Shakina Austin, Kermaine Beatty, Wardell Brantley, Murchison Gilmore, Jawan Grady, Junior Hannah, Landon James, Jayla McAllister, Alexandra Metz, Kyle Newby, Joseph Page, Alana Pfeiffer, Rosalinda Rivera, Josue Vegas, and Caroline Watcher. That concludes our 2020 Senior Digital Art and Design students.
This is Teresa Nierenstein, and I'm going to be reading my senior students' names that will be graduating this 2020. Madeline Breadmore, Janiquel Bryant, Alexis Burford, Deja Caldwell, Caitlin Dennison, Asia Ford, Tess Graham, Kayla Granger, Daniel Hernandez, Ruthie Johnson, Ava Kitanopoulos, Anaya Livingston, Chelsea Lynch, Doris Migliaccio, Sekel Ortiz, Morgan Randolph, Caitlin Sherman, Tamaya Smith, Jalen Sparkman, Aljay Stanley, Mardracia Stanley, Leslie Torres, Tori Walker Lloyd, Ty Wallingford, Sydney Wilson, Inaya Woodard, Kaylee Yeomans.
And as we close this event, on behalf of the staff, faculty, community members, I'd like to say one final congratulations to you on all that you've accomplished over the past 2 years. We could not be more proud of who you are as young men and women, and we know that you will serve this community very well. We look forward to all the wonderful things you're going to do. We also would like to say, remember that ATA is always your home, and you're always welcome to come back and visit and be a contributing factor to the next generation that comes through seeking their career expertise that starts here at ATA. Thank you. Have a great evening.